Okay, so this is Unit 6, Lesson 6.2 on similar triangles. So we have two features that we need to remember if things are similar. So if things are going to be similar, their angles are equal and their sides are proportional. Now the first thing, always, they have to be the same shape. So you can't compare a circle to a triangle, and you can't compare a circle to a square. You've got to have the same shape. Triangle to triangle, circle to circle. Okay? All right. Now we want to test their sides. When we call test their sides, that means seeing their corresponding sides. And again, we're checking if they're proportional. Proportional means, remember, they're growing and shrinking by the same amount. Okay, you don't want one side growing bigger than the other. They all have to grow by the same amount. So, if we take a look at the first couple, they're showing us that this angle right here has one tick in it. Well, if that angle has one tick, it's going to match the angle on this side with one tick. So it's going to match that one right there. Okay, so that means the double tick also matches the double tick. And we all know that this symbol now means similar. Okay? So we have similar objects. Now we also talk about how we name objects and how we name sides of triangles. Now there's a general rule of triangles. One of them is this, that the largest angle will be across from the longest side. And the shortest angle is across from the shortest side. So, if we were to draw, well, even just guessing in this one right here, this guy would be the smallest angle, this guy would be the medium angle, and this guy would be the largest angle. So, the largest angle is going to be across from the longest side. So that means the longest side is from D to F. Okay? The shortest side is across from the smallest angle. So that means D to E right here has to be the shortest side. Okay? And that's going to hold true for every triangle. Okay? That comes up a little later. We'll notice that as well. Okay, so they're showing us which angles are identical here. And they're showing us mainly with these little diagrams here. So they're saying if A equals D, if this guy matches this guy, and C matches F, then we have no choice but B and E have to be matched. The last angle has to match the last angle. That's basically what they're saying. And they say if this is true, then that means the triangles are similar. That's why they put that similar symbol in there, okay? So if all three sides match, then they are similar, okay? All right, let's take a look at what else they're telling us. Now, we get combined triangles. These are called multiple triangles built in one. So we only see one general triangle here, but there's actually three of them. So what we try to do when we're comparing these triangles is that we actually try to make sure that we compare them and we redraw each triangle. So I'm going to shade this triangle right here, that little red one. I'm going to redraw the red triangle. So my little red triangle has the letter D down here, A over here, and it's saying this one's the double tick. And what letter's down there? B. So that would be a B right there. Okay, and this is single tick, just a one tick. Now, I need to tell, we have two more triangles. The other triangle is this guy in green, okay? And the other triangle is the giant one that holds both of those together. So, this green triangle, I'm going to redraw. And the sides are D is the right angle. We've got the single tick matching single tick, so it's up here. Double tick has to match double tick, so it's down there. Okay? All right. So, these are our 90-degree angles. Then we're going to do the other big one. So, here's the giant one. I'm just going to throw it right here for now. So that's this guy right here I'm outlining in blue. So we've got 90, we have A, we have B, and we have C. So now the A has a double tick, C has a single tick. All right. So we need to know which ones are going to match. So C has a single tick. And right up in here, this B has a single tick. So when we take a look at this, right here, this is the same triangle right here, okay? I'm going to put these little baby letters around each of these triangles. And then we're going to see why they hold true, that they compare easily. So, this little guy here, we got, this guy here is baby B, he's baby D, he's baby A. Now, the way we know that they're a small letter versus a big letters are always for the exterior points, okay? Those are called the vertices. So the exterior points have capital letters. The side lengths of the sides can be named two ways. You can use two large letters and say it's between this angle and this angle. So you can have line segment BD right here, or you call it the small letter across from which angle it is. So this guy's across from angle A, so he's baby A. This guy's across from B, so he's baby B. Across from D is baby D. Okay, and that holds true. And so this is where they're getting all of these from. So they're saying these three things and these three things about the triangles. Okay? So we're comparing the C, the H, CHA. Okay, I'm going to have to use the letters they used. Let's just see here. Alright. So, on this little guy right here, the ones they used here is this. We have A, C, and H. That's H right there. Alright. So that's what they're telling us the letters are. Then we've got on this guy, we have, okay, D to B is H. And then they've got this guy, D. D. And this guy's baby B. Okay. That's the ones that are showing us here. On the big triangle, we've got letter E, we've got letter A, and we've got letter B. Alright, so now we're showing which ones match. So what I'm showing you here is this. So if I want to match this side right here, okay, we have to take a look at what angles it's in between. So what angle is this guy in between? We have a single tick right here. There's our single tick. And then we've got the 90 degrees right here. So the single to the 90 is this line right there. I need this again. Right there. So that's that line. Okay? That's what we've got acknowledged. Well, that line is also in this other triangle. That is also this line right here in that triangle. Everybody matching me so far? Okay, so what we've done is I've just redrawn all three of these triangles and I'm matching the sides to them, the ones that they say they have. Okay? So I'm matching C, A, and H to the small guy, H, D, and B to the medium one, and then the big guy gets these outside ones. Okay, that's what's actually going on. So, when we take a look at these, now we're comparing the sides. If they're going to compare this guy to this guy, they're going to say that H matches H. Absolutely H matches H. But, when we talk about one tick and the 90-degree angle, here they've got a 90-degree angle and one tick, 90-degree angle and one tick. So H isn't actually matching H. In the big triangle, this H is actually matching this side because he's between a one tick and a 90. One tick and a 90. So these two match. So that's why they've got H and D matching together right here. Okay? So you're putting the ones over who they match. So what they've done is this. If you look in this little, of all of these fractions, they have taken all of the numbers, or I guess in this case they're variables, from one triangle. And so what they've done is they've said small triangle over big triangle. They put all of these letters, C, A, and H, C, H, A, all on top. Then they found the matching ones below. Okay? Now, on these multiple triangles, sometimes it can be difficult to see where they are. So we're going to actually do it on another one. And it'll make way more sense when we piece it out on single triangles together. So this one here is just saying that the triple will match a triple, a single matches a single, and a double matches a double. Okay? So on this one, let's just say, for instance, we have the number 5 here, we have x here. Let's say we've got 7 here, 14 here. And let's say we've got y here and 12 here. No, not 12. This one's got to be 16. Okay, so these are numbers I'm just throwing on these triangles. We're going to write what's called the side ratios. The side ratios are these. So what we're going to do is we're going to place small triangle over big triangle. And we're going to write 3 sides. These are called our side ratios. So what I do is I take all the numbers or variables around on the small one, and I put them all on top. So I have 5, 7, and y. Now this is where it gets detailed. Now you've got to match them, okay? Most of math in this unit is matching. And once you've matched it, then it's cross, multiply, and divide, and you're done, okay? So, who matches 5? Well, if we look at 5, 5 is between a single and a triple tick. So we need single and triple tick. So that means he's going to match x. Okay? If I now take a look at the next one, triple tick to double tick, triple tick to double tick, 14 is going to match 7. Okay? And the y is going to match the 16. Now, they always have to give you 2 numbers out of 3. You're noticing on each triangle they gave us 2 numbers out of 3. When it comes to 2 fractions, they have to give us 3 numbers out of 4 numbers. So if I cover up the fraction on the right, I have 3 numbers out of 4 numbers. I can cross multiply and divide and find x. If I go over here and I cross off and cover up 5 over x, if I cover that guy up, I have 3 numbers out of 4, and I can cross multiply and divide and find this guy. And that's exactly what we're going to do. So, on this one, this number right here, when we have a fraction that is a complete fraction, where it's a number on top of a number, that's called our true ratio. So this true ratio, that's the one that we always cross multiply and divide by. So for example, what I mean by that is this. I'm going to rewrite the equations now. I have 5 over x equals 7 over 14. And now I'm going to cross multiply and divide. So I'm going to multiply this way and divide by 7. Okay? You always multiply the numbers that are diagonal, and you divide by the one left over. It doesn't matter if the one left over is on top or on the bottom. It really doesn't matter. So, if I do that, I'm going to get x is equal to 10. Should equal 10. Okay? So, what's going on with this question right now, if we take a look, we have 3 numbers out of 4. Okay, we're cross multiplying and dividing, and we're finding the unknown side. Now, if I take a look here, we can hopefully see with our eyes that if I take a look at 7, what did they do to the 7 to get a 14? They doubled it. They multiplied it by 2. So if I work backwards and I say, okay, well, what would I do to 5 then to get the new number? Double it. So it should be 10. Good. Now, because these are exact ratios like that, where it's just times it by 2, that's a pretty easy one. But now that we have the big number, how do we work backwards? We would divide by 2. Good. So y should equal 8. Okay? So that's how we find out the unknown sides. And again, it's cross, multiply, and divide. But you always need a true ratio. Now, setting up my second one, if I didn't know that was 8, I would have to set it up. And so what I would do is I would set it up over here like this. I would have 7 over 14 equals y over 60. And I would cross multiply this way and divide by the 14, and that will give me y. So you're always diagonally multiplying, and then you divide. Now, why did I choose to use the 7 over 14 again to cross multiply? Why didn't I just use the 5 and the 10? Sorry? Exactly, because it's a true ratio, we know both numbers. The reason is because, what if you made a mistake the first time? Let's say we made a mistake and we got 9.5 for x. Well, x isn't 9.5, it's 10. So let's say if I got that wrong answer, and then I chose to use this one to cross multiply and divide and find this guy, I'm going to get y wrong because I got x wrong. So that's why we don't use numbers that we find. We always use the numbers we're given. Okay? And that prevents us from making future mistakes. Okay? So that's why we need to use the true ratios. Let's take a look at another example. So if we want to make naming equal angles and equal ratios of the sides, they're showing us what they've done. We're going to do it this way. Whichever way you want. You can put small over big or big over small. What do you want to do? Small over big. Okay, so if we go small over big, and that just looks like the same size almost. All right. Small over big. All right. We make 3 fractions. And now what we do is we put all the numbers or letters from the small one. So we have D, E, and F. And what we do now is we match the ones from the big one on the bottom. So who matches vertical D? A does, right here. Who matches letter E on the bottom? B does. And then C is the diagonal. Okay? So we would match them this way. What they chose to do is they put the big one on top of the small one. They chose to put big triangle over small triangle, and that's where they got their letters. Okay? Now that's totally fine. You can do it that way or this way. You'll get the same answer both ways. It really doesn't matter. Okay? All right. Now the angles. How do you know which angles match? Well, if they're drawn like this for us, side by side, we can hopefully visually see that the top angle is going to match the top, the 90 matches the 90, and the bottom angle matches the bottom, okay? But when they're upside down and intertwined, it's harder to see them. So sometimes it's easier to use highlighters and trace them and redraw them. All right, so now here's an example on how to solve, just like we did before. So this is where they would do small triangle over big. So they've got the work over here. I've shown you what the solution, what they show is. So this is the solution that they show us right here. So what they've done is they've taken small over big because they've got 2 and 5. So here's 2 and 5. And 2 is going to match 6. And the reason it matches 6 is because it's 1 tick, triple tick. 1 trick, tickle tick, trick. That's hard to say. 1 tick, triple tick. Boy, oh boy. Okay, so those 2 are going to match. So now we've got 2 numbers. We cross multiply and divide by what's left over. Okay? Now they're just showing double cross multiply. And that's totally fine because it's solving for x. So what they've done is they've said, okay, well, it's this times this equals that times that. Which is true. Okay? We just do it all in one step when we do the cross multiply and divide. They're showing 2 steps here, and that's totally fine. You can do it in 2 steps, or you can do it in 1 step, whichever you prefer. Okay? All right. So, again, like I said, they cross-multiplied, and then they divided right here, and they got their answers. So that means this guy should be a 15, and this guy should be a 21. Okay? Those are the answers they're getting. Let's take a look at the next ones. These ones have triangles inside triangles again. So with these kinds, we have to be very careful about which ones we match together. So these arrows are showing us that they are parallel lines. So what we try to do is we match them according to the parallel lines. Okay? So this one that they have up here is they're showing us 2 different triangles. So So they've got the small triangle on top, and then they've got the giant one around all of it. Okay, those are the two triangles we're seeing. So right now they're showing us that side A to B is going to match side A to C. A to F is matching A to D. B to F is matching C to D. And they've written it all right here. Okay? So what we're going to do, because they haven't done it, is we're going to throw some numbers on there. So I'm going to show you what that means. This is like saying we've got small triangle over big triangle. Okay? So these are small over big, same idea. So let's just actually do a question like this one. Okay? So let's put some numbers on here. We go X and 25. Let's go 7 and 8. Yeah, that'll work. Okay. So if I want to cross multiply, divide, and find X, we need to put small triangle on top of big. So that means I'm going to have this side matches this whole side. So that means I'm going to have 7 equals X. And I have to match who's under 7 and who's under X. So who would match 7? Does the 8 match 7? Well, let's take a look. 8 is from here to here. Does this part right here make the side of a full triangle? No. We have to add those two numbers. So it's going to be 15. Okay? And then the other one is 25. Okay? And now we're going to cross multiply this way and divide by 15. Okay? So everybody give that a try. Cross multiply and then divide. Please draw this down. Okay, give it a try. Okay, so we're going to cross multiply and divide. We get X is 11.6 repeating. We round it to 11.7. Example 4. They want us to find X. Same idea though. So what we're doing is we're doing small triangle, or I guess they did big triangle. So they did, I'll show you what they did. So they did big triangle on top of small triangle, which is how they get X plus, whoopsie, X equals 10. Oh, it's still done. Okay. So we're going to get X equals 10. Where do we get 10 from? How do we get the number 10? I don't see a 10 on there.
You add 4 and 6.
Yes, we have to add 4 and 6 because that makes a full length of that triangle. Okay, so who's going to match X then? Which side is going to match X? The 3. So we put the 3 under the X. Who's going to match the 10? Who's on that same squiggle line? 6 does. Good. All right. So they're just showing up here that they got 4 plus 6. They are right. 4 plus 6. So you're just going to add them and make 10. So now we're going to cross multiply and then divide by 6. Okay, cross multiply and divide. So 30 divided by 6, we're going to get X's. 5 big ones. You betcha. Okay. Now, if they gave me a number, let's say right here or right there, would I be able to find out the other missing number? Yes. Okay, they'll always give you 2 numbers out of 3 on a triangle, so you can figure out the third one. All right, look at the bottom one here, example 5. Now that one looks like a whole bunch of gobbledygook. We've got all kinds of things being intertwined over here. So if we take a look, we've got one large triangle right there. So everybody see the big, big, big one? Okay. So we've got the giant triangle, ABC, and then we've got the teeny triangle right here. I'm just going to highlight it in yellow right there. Okay? So we have 2 triangles. So we're going to put big over small this time because that's what they chose to do. So we're going to go big over small. All right, so X is over here. We need to find X out. So, small triangle numbers, the numbers I have, I've got 4, a 3, and a 6. Okay, on my small triangle. That's this number here. I have a 4, a 3, and a 6. Okay? Now I have to find out which guys match. So, we have to find our ticks now. So I have a single tick right here, a single tick in there is going to match the single tick right here. Okay? So, a single tick matching the ticks. This guy right here, how big is he going to match? Which one is this guy going to match right here? This side right there, the 12. Is he going to match the 4 or the 3 or the 6? Who do you think he matches? Well, take a look at what he's sitting on. Okay? Because if we redraw this small triangle, let me redraw the small triangle. Okay, there's the small triangle. We got E, we got C, and we got D. And E to D is 4, E to C is 6, and this guy's 3. Okay. So now with him drawn side by side, can you find out which one matches? Yes, the 4 is going to match the 12. So this side right here is matching this side right here. You just have to redraw them so they're facing the same way. Once they're facing the same way, you can probably figure out which ones match. So we're going to put the 12 with the 4. All right. Now we got to figure out which other guys match. So if I take a look right here, does anything match with my 3? Well, my 3 right here, that's my small part of my triangle. That's actually matching this guy right here. Okay? So the 3 is actually matching this whole bottom. See, 3's in the bottom, it's matching X plus 6. So I have to put X plus 6. So now whenever we get a variable with a digit, we have to actually cross multiply. Okay, this isn't cross multiply and divide. This is cross multiply period. So this is what we do. So we weren't asked to find this guy, so we don't have to worry about him. So now I'm going to multiply these guys, and I'm going to multiply these guys. So I'm going to get 4 times X plus 6 equals 12 times 3. That's what it's showing us. Okay? And we're going to multiply this guy into the bracket. Okay, because you have to. So we're going to have 4x plus 24 equals 36. And now we're able to find out our answer. Okay, we're back to our linear equation. We got to remove the 24, so we take it to the other side. Minus 24. We're going to get 4x equals 12. And when I divide out the 4, how big is x? 3. Okay? So if the question was a numeric response, and it says, how big is the side B to C, you would actually have to now put the 3 there, and how big is that side? It would be 9. You'd have to add them. Okay? So, again, we're just cross-multiplying and dividing. That's all this whole section is about. Okay? It's about cross-multiplying and dividing. Let's take a look at a few more. So again, these ones are triangles that are combined. If they join at a certain point, these ones aren't too bad, because these ones have sections, the lines are going to match. So whatever line would continue, so for example, if I'm drawing this line right here, and it continues to the other triangle, those sides match. Okay? And then we've got over here, we've got this is going to match that. Okay? So if the line is connected, it's going to match. So this line here from B to C, B to the middle is connected to this line. So it's going to match that line because that's one full line going all the way down. Okay? Then the vertical matches the vertical. Okay? So if I wanted to write my side ratios, let's put us small over big. So if I put my small numbers, I've got 5 and 6. Now I have to find out who matches on the other side. So, who's connected to the 5? Go Y. Who's connected to the 6? The 10. So we're going to cross multiply this way and divide by 6. That's how we do that one. So we're going to get Y is equal to 50 divided by 6, which is 25 divided by 3, which is how big? 8 point something? 8.3? 8.3-ish, maybe 3 repeating, we'll see. Okay. Is it 3 repeating? Yeah, okay. Alright, we go over to the right-hand side. That's a triangle inside a triangle again. So those are ones that we would like to redraw them. Because if we can't redraw them outside the other triangle, sometimes we can't match their sides very easy. So, we've got a big triangle inside a little triangle. So we're trying to find Z. So, we need the giant one. Okay. So this guy is Z. And which ones are we comparing? A to D and B to C. Okay. So we're comparing this line and this line. So we're doing this triangle to the teeny triangle. To this guy right here. Okay. So we're not even using the big giant triangle out around, I don't think. So here we go. So we've got 5 foot, let's go big over small this time. So if I have my big triangle, I have 18 equals Z. Alright. On my small triangle, I have an 8. Who's going to match the 8? Because here's this triangle. Take a look. 90. Is this guy right here, Z? Is he, of the blue triangle, is he my smallest, largest, or medium-sized leg? He's the smallest. So who's the smallest one on the green triangle? 8. So the smallest matches the smallest, always. So he's going to match 8. Well, then that means this diagonal is going to match Z. Whoa. Okay. So do you see where we're at? Okay, do you see where I got the numbers to match and why? Okay. Yep. So now when we have variables on both, we have to just cross multiply. We don't do the dividing. We're just cross multiply. Pardon? So we get Z squared because we get Z times Z equals 18 times 8. Well, Z times Z gives us Z squared. That's where we get the Z squared. That's Z times Z. Okay, that's this part right there. And that equals 18 times 8. Well, 18 times 8 is 144. Okay, that's 144. So now down here they've got Z is equal to the square root of 144. And we know the square root of 144 is 12. Okay, that's how they found their numbers though. Okay, any questions so far? It's a lot of cross multiply, guys. Alright, this one you have to go to your other little notes with. Okay, you don't have this in your booklet, this is your other section. So this will be on page 3. Okay, this one is showing us how to do these. Yeah, it should be in there. Okay, so this is on page 3. So what we're going to do first is we are going to draw the tiny triangle and label it. So here's my tiny triangle right there. Here's my tiny triangle right here. Now I'm going to label it. So this guy gets to Y and a 30. Now I'm going to do my green triangle. My green triangle is this one. So for my green triangle, I need an X, and on the bottom, I have 25 plus 30. You have to add the numbers together to get that full bottom leg. So 25 plus 30 is 55 for that guy. Okay? And on the big triangle, the very giant one. So that's this guy right here. we're going to match him up. We've got a 60 vertical, and we've got 35 plus 25 plus 30. That's going to give us 90. Okay? So we get 90 on that guy. We have to make sure we add all of those. So now we need to find X, we need to find Y. So we need to set up our ratios. So we're going to choose the yellow triangle first with the big triangle. How do I know I'm using the big triangle with the small one and not the middle one? Because you have to use the triangle with two numbers and no variables. Okay, this guy's our true ratio. Okay, these are true ratio. Because he has a number and no variables. Okay? Alright, so now we're going to take small triangle over big. We're going to have Y and 30. And now we need to put the matching ones. 60 is vertical, it's going to match the Y. And 90 is the horizontal, it's going to match horizontal. So now we're going to cross multiply this way and divide by 90. And that's going to tell us how big Y is. So how big is Y? Hands up, hands up, hands up. How big is Y? We should get Y equals 20. Okay? So we know this guy is a 20. Alright. Now we need to figure out the X. So, again, we're going to go small triangle over big triangle. So we have X and 55. And we need to match up X and 55. Well, X is going to match 60 and 90 matches 55. And again, we're cross multiplying and dividing by who's left over. Okay? So, how big is X? Everybody cross multiply and divide, please. Hands up if you got the answer. Who's got it? Yep. 36.6 repeating, so we're around 36.7. Okay? Yep. Alright, so we're going to take another one where we got connected by a point. So on the bottom, turn the page over, actually to page 4. So on page 4, they've got everything labeled for us. We like it when it's labeled. So, all we've got to do is literally set up the side ratios. So we need to know who is going to match. When they're connected by a point, how do you know who matches? How do you know who matches? Well, it works like this. If they don't show you parallel lines, so if they don't show you these, like they're parallel lines, then the rule is this. If the line is connected or touching the other line, that means it's a straight line completely. It will be matching the same line. So that's why this line is going to match this line. And then on the bottom, we're going to get this line matches this line. Okay? So we're going to put small triangle over big. And we're going to find the unknowns. And we have 3 things to do. So I've got a W, a 28.9, and a 48.4. Okay. Thank you. This isn't working out. I just got to erase it for a second. Okay. Okay.
Please, sir. Yeah, some more.
And W. Okay. So, vertically W, who's going to match the vertical W? What do you think? The up and down one over there attached to the 90, who's he? 98.3. Okay. Who's matching the blue line? 73.2. And who's matching W? or sorry, the 48.4 is going to match Z. Pardon me, I already did W. All right, so we have one true ratio. Here's our true ratio right there. So we're going to cross multiply twice with that true ratio. First one's going to be W. Okay, so on the first one, we're going to cross multiply this way and divide by what's left over. And then we're going to do the same thing with Z. So we're going to find 48.4 over Z. And on this one, we're going to cross multiply this way and divide by what's left over. So to one decimal place, it says round to 10th where necessary. So which one, what does W give us? One decimal place. So over here, what's W? Who's W cross multiply and divide? Let's go, guys. Multiply these two, divide by 73.2. Underline. It is so, 38.8. And we want Z. Now we want Z. Who's got Z? It is so 122.6. All right. Now, if we're going to match the degrees, we need to match the degrees in the actual triangles. So we want to match how big those angles are. Now, what do all triangles add up to on the inside? 180. So if I know two of them, so right now I know 50 and 90, can I find the third one out? Yeah, you bet. I'm going to go 180 subtract 90 subtract 50. That's going to give me 40 up here. So if this guy up here is 40, now I know that X and Y have to be 40 and 50. But who's who? Well, we have a rule. And the one rule is this. Anything across an X, that's like going to cross wherever two lines intersect, they'll make an X. They will be identical. Okay, so that means X has to be 50. So here X is 50 degrees, which makes Y 40 degrees. Okay? So again, if they're crossing X, they're going to be identical. They're called opposite. So if I've got 60 degrees here, this guy is 60 degrees. Okay, that's just opposites. All right, let's check another one. These guys, again, are going to form where if a line is touching, it's going to match. Okay? If a line is touching, it's going to match. So we're going to do small triangle over big, which gives us 3 equals 5 equals 6. And who matches the 3 on the big triangle? 9 does. Who matches 5? Y. Who matches 6? X. Good. So, we need to cross multiply and divide. So we're going to go 3 over 9 equals 5 over Y. Cross multiply this way, divide by our 3. Then we're going to take our 3 and our 9 and do the same thing with 6 and X. But remember, I had to take the true ratio. So I basically covered up the guy in the middle. And then you cross multiply and divide again. So how big is X? X is 18, good. And how big is Y? Should be 15. Is he 15? Did you get 15? Good. So again, you're cross multiplying and dividing. All right. This concludes lesson 6.2 on similar triangles.